minutes. Where are we?
Going down.
You might have to reach it.
I did.
Oh, you did?
I did.
All right, yeah. Right there. Or no, going down.
I told you.
Yeah, you were right.
There we
There
are.
we are. That's us. That's us on your phone.
Give us just a
Live.
second, guys. We're coming. We're coming. Share to page. Not cosmetology school.
They might like it.
How do I change this?
Can you run a watch party?
Oh, yeah, I don't know how to do it. Sure. But let's get the right group. Or unless, I don't know. We're just, give us a second, guys.
Yeah, we're getting a watch party set up on his page. That
Yeah.
way we can all get together and have fun.
What's better about that?
That's going to tell all your people they're going to be watching at the same time we are.
One little problem. Does this have to be running while it's happening? Because I'm on 2%, 1%.
Nope.
I can close
You
her
just
down.
leave it ready.
All right, boom.
All
Now look at all these
Now
things.
we're ready to
All
go.
Now
There
we're
we
firing
go.
away. Like it.
Awesome, guys. So we are live at the Walkaway event in Maryland with Brandon Straka, the founder of the Walkaway movement. Brandon, what is the Walkaway movement?
So I'm a former liberal, former Democrat. I walked away in 2017, voted for Hillary, and so I mean, in a nutshell, I had a big sort of transitional moment in my life when it's kind of a long story, but basically it revolved around the media. My eyes opened up to the fact that I did my whole life were lying, deceiving, manipulating emotions and information, and we see all the time right now on the left the constant calls, racism, bigotry, all these different things that get people all riled up, and then no one's thinking straight. Well, a series of events opened my eyes to that, and then I ended up going on this long journey of research, realizing that the Democratic Party, the liberal media, the ideology of liberalism is very toxic, deceptive. I ended up walking away from everything that I once knew on the left, and then I started a movement encouraging other people to just pay attention to what I was realizing myself. And one thing with Walkaway, we don't tell people what to think, what they have to believe. We're not encouraging people to leave groupthink and walk into another groupthink. What we're really about is telling people not what to think, but to think.
Yeah.
Just, go on your own journey, do your research, do your own homework, and stop just believing something because you see it on Facebook or because Rachel Maddow says so, or So it's a journey of people leaving the left.
So you're talking about actual freedom and independent thinking.
Yes.
Yeah, not that's the hardest thing. Like, we was at CPAC last week.
Yeah.
And I think just because we was there talking to Republicans, we instantly got, labeled as a right-wing conspiracy theorist. And I was like, guys, we're going to talk to people and have conversations. But we were just completely dishonest. And that really hurt my heart because the message that we're trying to bring is a really important message. Brandon, we talk about like the family law course and trying to put dad back into the home. And it's, we're only 6 months old. We're about 100,000 followers strong. But to have people...
That's really good.
Yeah.
What do you mean only 100,000 followers? That's amazing.
Thank you, sir.
That's fantastic. Yeah, no, that's great.
Yeah, man. And, we just want to get out there and get the message any way that we can. And I think it's important to be able to talk to people without getting in these back and forth fights.
So is that kind of the main crux of your message is kind of empowering men and getting men back in is that kind of the general theme of it, or is
yes and no. I mean, this is definitely an issue that's affected like 80% fathers, but it's happening to women as well. And it's became here the past couple of years, it's starting to swing more towards the single men's favor if they got the money to fight against it in family court.
Right.
So it's about who can sling the most mud. But these issues, we need the politicians talking about it, and I don't know, man, it's been a hard thing.
Well, and another thing that I think you'll really appreciate about this movement is we talk about the rage culture and labels, okay? A lot of men are labeled deadbeats,
Sure.
okay? Because they can't afford to pay the child support that the courts are handing down. And one of the big things that our movement discusses is something called Title IVD funding. It's part of the Social Security Act. And in that Title IVD funding, what it actually does is it gives the state and the courts incentive to divide families, okay?
Right.
And provide one parent, whether it's the mother or the father, and it happens to the father more often, with more custody. And the reason for that is when one parent has more custody, the other parent has to pay out. The non-custodial parent has to pay child support, and for every dollar that parent pays, the federal government reimburses the state 66 cents on the dollar. So we have a mechanism in our family law courts that is rewarding and enabling one parent to alienate the child from the other parent. So going back to that word deadbeat, a lot of times fathers like Eric and I, who aren't allowed to see our children, which, by the way, that's why we do this show, because we want to be with our children, we get labeled deadbeat, okay, because we're not around. But that question's not asked. Well, do you want to be around?
Right.
You know, why aren't you in your child's life? We automatically get that label. So myself, you know, going out on the dating scene, well, I have 2 children. Well, where are they? Oh, they're with their mothers. Imagine the looks I get from anybody I speak to. They look at me, well, what did you do?
Right.
There's a stereotype there. And I would like you to talk to our listeners right now, because we had a lot of people in the past week when Eric went to CPAC from the liberal side who were just beside themselves that we would even sit down with a Republican and talk about these issues. And a lot of that plays in to your movement, to what you're about as far as that rage culture and falling for what the news is telling them.
So, I mean, I think that a lot of people on the left, including myself formerly, take their cues about how to feel about anything from what basically the media is saying, or people within their own sort of bubble, whether it be socially or whether it be on social media or whatever. It's, you know, I don't think that people are really researching much, and I don't think that many people feel comfortable breaking free from the herd mentality, and just saying something about this doesn't feel right, something about this doesn't sound right. Maybe I should investigate this a little bit and see if maybe something is off here. I think that people don't feel comfortable anymore just, you know, not going along with what the status quo is and thinking for themselves, or saying, you know, I'm not going to react with outrage simply because those around me is reacting with outrage. Maybe something is wrong here. I mean, that's sort of what happened to me. I was outraged because everyone I saw was outraged because Donald Trump got elected, and it was, you know, I was like, well, everyone I know and trust is mad, so I'm going to be mad too. And they're all scared and they're all freaking out. But it was, you know, I started to just notice that the outrage reaction wasn't really matching reality, you know, real life. That I was like, you know, and the news keeps telling me that, you know, black people can't walk to their mailbox without a police officer shooting at them, or that, you know, that Mike Pence is going to come take all the gay people and put us in concentration camps. And I'm just like, but I'm not seeing it. You know, I'm just not seeing it. And so I just decided to kind of push back against the culture.
You know, Brandon, it's weird that you say that, because I interviewed a man at CPAC that was telling me he was the head of an LGBT organization. Once they found out he had voted for Trump, he got fired the same day.
Oh, yeah.
That's not acceptance.
No, it's not. And I've had my events canceled for that very reason. I've certainly been told I'm not welcome certain places, or so, you know, and even you know, as a gay man myself, there's certain publications, like say there's Out magazine or The Advocate. These are LGBT magazines, and very, very, you know, national media. And they'll do lists and things like the 100 most influential LGBT people of 2018. Do you think that I would ever be on one of those lists? Like this guy who like started a national movement, like that's really, really gained all this traction. That's, you know, kind of picking away at a particular ideology or political party. I mean, it's a deal, you know, what's been accomplished here. But, you know, they have these like unknown dancers, and I mean on these lists. Yeah. You know, but it's like you would never see Brandon Straka on a list of the most influential LGBT people. Why? Because I don't believe the right thing anymore. Because I don't have the right politics.
You don't fit their narrative.
I don't fit their narrative, so I'm not I'm not even considered a part of the community anymore.
Right. Well, you know, tell us about some of the opposition that you faced along the way for standing what you believe in.
Well, I mean, at first it started within my own sphere. You know, when I started speaking out, even before Walkaway, I lost about 90% of my friends. And it was very nasty. I mean, some of them went away quietly, but a lot of them kind of wanted to slander me on the way out the door. You know, people got on social media, said I had been drinking and doing drugs. Some people said I had a nervous breakdown. Some people said I joined a cult. That was a good one.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Some people said, what was the other one?
That's how he got the good hair.
Cult.
The cult.
And so, sorry, give me a little zhuzh. There was one other one that was really good. I can't think of it right now. But the nervous breakdown, that was a pretty good one too, because I literally had people reach out to me and be like, "Are you okay? Are you okay?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm fine. What do you mean?" And they said, "Well, people have been calling and saying that you had a nervous breakdown." And I was like, "Well, I became a Republican. I mean, is that a breakdown? I don't know. I feel fine.
Kanye West.
I feel like I've never had
Wow.
more clarity." You know?
You know, it makes you wonder if that's part of what happened to Kanye, you know? Because they used that to discredit
yeah.
you. That's what it was.
Oh yeah, if you became a conservative, it's because you lost your mind.
Oh,
you know,
wow.
clearly that's.
What's that feel like to have these friends and people that you thought loved you, and they just completely disown you because of your beliefs?
Yeah, I mean, I would be lying if I said it didn't hurt me at all, or that there weren't times where I miss my friends, or I feel like it just sucks that, especially when some of them go back to my childhood, and stuff, and it's like that's a whole part of your life now that's just gone because, the friends that used to come over and spend the night at your house when you were in 3rd grade and 4th grade won't speak to you anymore.
Right.
Because you now support the president. So that part hurts. But then there's the other side of my personality that's very defiant and rebellious, and it's like if people F with me and I don't deserve it, it just makes me want to dig in my heels, and like I'm very defensive that way. So it's sort of like if you're gonna, I'm not gonna just be like, well, I'll put my beliefs aside so that we can get along. And it's like, no, screw you. I didn't do anything wrong.
Right.
So if you don't want to be my friend anymore, that's your choice. But I'm not gonna back down from what I believe because I didn't do anything wrong. I don't think anything wrong. And I think that what I believe in is important. I mean, I'm trying to fight for our culture and our country and the heart, I think, of America. And that is worth whatever losses I have to experience along the way. But I also, just to be clear, I tell myself all the time, too, that I think that all of these people who've turned their backs on me, I think in time, maybe 2 years, 3 years, I think they're going to understand why I'm doing what I'm doing. And I have no doubt that a good majority of these people will in time come back to me and say, I understand now, and I'm sorry. And I'll say, that's fine.
Well, because
Welcome
you was
back.
at that mindset at one point in time yourself.
Yes. And I also had when I was a liberal, I had friends who went from liberal to conservative.
Right.
And I was vicious to them. And also cut them off. And I have gone back to a lot of them and said, I get it now, I'm sorry. And I have no doubt that that'll happen to me too.
And I can definitely relate, man, because, we are fighting hard for people's children and for our rights here. Going to the people that we think can make a difference. And it's like, I'll talk to anybody on any side of the aisle, but right now they're not wanting to talk to us because they think we've chosen a stance. But you know what?
Sure.
We've got to stand firm in what we believe, and that's the problem with this generation. They need to start learning how to speak out.
Right.
We've got to speak up and stand firm for what we believe in.
Yeah, I mean, I have conviction, and don't just go along with the crowd, and don't be afraid to. I mean, these are the same lessons that people were saying since I was a kid, but somewhere along the way we actually lost that. I think people actually became more geared towards being a follower than a leader. People became
Complacent.
yeah, that was the word that was coming to my mind, but it's not exactly the right word. It's like people lost their sense of believing in themselves, and they just
Right.
it became easier, I think, to just be like, I'm just going to go along with what everyone else is doing, And it's like, be an individual, be a thought leader.
Think for yourself.
Yeah, and stand up and be proud and say, look, yeah, I disagree with everybody in the room, and to hell with you all, because I feel right about, this is my belief.
As somebody who was in that like liberal mindset, who was influenced by the mainstream media, are there any sources for news that you look to today to get a genuine opinion? Because we know a lot of it is manufactured narrative.
Sure.
By mainstream.
Yeah.
This is what we want you to think.
Yeah.
Do you have any news sources that you follow daily?
Well, okay, so let me first start by saying that I do now watch and read Fox News.
Okay.
But I am also aware that there is slant on both sides.
Right.
I'm aware of that.
So you still have a critical eye.
I have a critical eye. Yeah, and I see that obviously they're not going to go out of their way to be critical of Trump or whatever, but that, I'm able to kind of see through the slant what they're doing.
Right.
But what I would say that I think is happening with a lot of people and happening with me, myself, too, that there's more of a push now toward independent journalism,
Yes.
which I think is really cool. And a lot of people now are starting to find independent journalists who are not connected with any specific outlet or organization, and people are placing their trust now in some of these independent journalists. And a good friend of mine is Tracy Beans. I don't know if you
You're
guys
Tracy.
Do you?
Yeah,
Like, as
actually-
in you know her or you follow her?
No, I worked on Ron Paul Tribune with her.
Oh, you did?
We supported Ron Paul.
Yeah.
And I know she's been involved with Trump's candidacy since he ran for office.
Yeah,
So
well-
yes, Tracy, if you're watching, Chris Gannon, how are you doing?
Well, I'll make her watch after this. But she's Tracy is not only one of my favorite people, but she's one of my favorite independent journalists. And I think a lot of people. She has a huge following, which is very well deserved. She's great at what she does.
Wow.
Guys,
Wow,
I
wow,
think
wow.
The meaning of this here is stand up for what you believe,
Yeah.
even if it means standing alone. And you gotta plant your feet firm. Brandon, tell everybody a little bit about where they can find you, my man.
Sure. If they want to follow me on social media, it's really easy. My handle on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook is at Brandon Straka. My name has a very peculiar A on the end. That's silent, so it's spelled Straka. First name Brandon. Brandon. It looks like Straka. That's how you can follow me, and please subscribe to my YouTube channel as well. But I really want to encourage people to go to walkawaycampaign.com, check us out, support what we're doing. You can become a volunteer. You can make a donation to the grassroots organization because we go around the country doing events, trying to get as people as possible to walk away in colleges and minority communities, etc. And we have a fantastic event that I want you all to know about too. On May 1st in Nashville, Tennessee, we're doing the Walkway American Women's Town Hall. And the panel for this event is Laura Trump, Judge Janine Pirros, Diamond and Silk, Katie Hopkins. Oh, look at all the things flying. You're getting lots of hearts now. That's a good thing. And if people want to get tickets to that event, it's in Nashville, Tennessee on May 1st. Go to walkawaycampaign.com and check us out. So that's what I have to say. And go to Facebook and join. They're already on Facebook, right?
Yeah.
You guys, if you're not subscribed to #WalkAwayCampaign group, as soon as you're done watching this video, go type in #WalkAwayCampaign, click the group. We now have 235 or 6,000 members. Please join. You're going to love this, you guys, because there are testimonials that come in every day, videos and written testimonials, people telling their stories about why they're leaving the left or why they walk with those who leave the left. Honest to God, you're going to love this group. It's incredible. Join right now. #WalkAwayCampaign group.
And guys, there is a few fake ones out there I found out today. So that is the real one
But
right
they don't
there.
have 236,000 members.
Yeah. So don't do what I did and like the wrong one.
Oh, you did?
Yes, I did. I received a message.
12 people in the Walkway campaign.
All right, well, Brandon, thank you so much.
Thanks,
my man.
guys. No, it's
Thank
great
you,
talking
Brandon.
with you.
Wish
Yeah,
Thank you.
best of luck.
Everybody,
Thanks, guys.
that's the end of the night. Thank you so much for tuning in. We'll see you next time.